It promotes so much doubt in your opponents, and you just run with it, and you can see it. We've seen it many, many times, many-fold against multiple other fighters. It's happened time and time again. I feel like Conor is a big example of that. When he was just running through people. Pereira as well before his last fight. Diego Lopez is running that train. He put a beating on Ortega.
Oh,
okay,
that was brutal, bro.
Mate, it was hard to watch. Oh,
yeah.
Side note, how tough is Ortega, but Diego's in a very, very dangerous form right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Makhachev won Volk, I think beats Diego Lopez. Volk's skill set and just his composure, his toughness, his grit, his fight IQ, his ability to fight in the octagon is 0 to none, second to none. Okay, he's amazing. But again, with all the other factors we look into it, which Volk do we see?
Okay, Modestas, I want to come to you specifically with a question on what we just heard Robert Whittaker talking about there in terms of Volk losing a couple of times the way he did, and people are now looking at him coming into this Diego Lopez fight, thinking, you know what, maybe he don't got it like that no more. But then people forget how good it was, how dominating it was when it was running the division. What's your take on all this situation here with the way Volk is obviously coming off couple losses and entering into a dangerous matchup like this with someone like Diego Lopez?
Definitely, there's a lot of hints of I must have forgot. You know what I mean with Alexander Volkanovski. Sorry. He's a very well-rounded mixed martial artist. As Whittaker was saying, his fight IQ is second to none. He managed to mix everything so well together. Managed to blend all the arts, uses grappling. As you saw, obviously against Yair, he was able to get him down. He was able to put pressure on the floor. He can strike with the best of them. He showed amazing takedown defense in his first fight with Islam Makhachev. But I have to admit, obviously, it's not the best position for him to be in, coming off of knockout losses as well. And obviously, Diego Lopez is, like I say, with a lot of momentum behind him. And I have to admit, I resonate quite a lot with Diego Lopez because of his story. He's got a massive comeback story. And, my manager, because we both share the same manager, he often talks about how, Diego Lopez, he had a lot of adversity. He's managed to come back and, he weathered the storm and he stayed in the game. He stayed true to himself, and look where he is now. He just believed in himself. Dream, believe, and make it happen, like it says on his chest. So I think all of that, that just gives you almost gives you superpowers. Having that mindset behind you when you're going into a title fight where this is literally everything you've been working for. This is everything that you've been training for. You've been through all the hardest bits of adversity. He's young still as well. He's pretty much just peaking up in towards his prime, whereas Volk is almost on the other side of that. So that's why I say there's a lot of momentum for Diego Lopez going into this fight, and I truly think he can put on a spectacular performance. You look at his ground game as well. I mean, the way he's able to blend those submissions together and stuff like that, this is going to be a very tough test for Volkanovski. Like I say, we definitely can't, write Volkanovski off because he's a tremendous athlete. He's done so many things amazing in the game. Like I say, he's got amazing striking, amazing wrestling, great ground game. So I'm just looking forward to see the clash in the middle of the octagon because it's sort of there's a lot of motivation on Alex's side where he's he needs to show people I'm here, I'm back, I am the great, I'm still here, I'm still ready to take over the division. Whereas Diego is looking to be I'm the next king. I'm ready to show everyone that I'm the man right now. So it's a massive clash and I'm really looking forward to it. But like I say, you could say from both sides there's a lot of hype going into that fight, and it's just going to make it very interesting for the fans for sure.
Yeah, big challenge there. Olin, let me come to you, Olin, on this same topic here. I mean, Bobby Knuckles was talking to fans as well, how fans can be good and also bad for the sport in how, and you know what, we've all been guilty of it every now and again with certain fighters and stuff like that. But from your standpoint, because you do have that little bit of bridge between, you know, standard fans and knowing some of the fighters that, you know, that you've had the privilege of being around. What's the balance scale on that tilt of how bad can fans be towards fighters and forgetting as well to what, you know, the achievement that they've done in the past?
I mean, that's a great question. That's a kind of a great caveat of the overall purpose of the video, right? Like, fans can be the best thing in the world or they can be the worst thing in the world. They can build you up or they can break you down. And that's why so many celebrities tell you don't read the comments, right? Don't listen to what the outside noise is bringing in. And this sport is the worst when it comes to the factor of it being, it's not about what you've done for me. It's about what you've done for me lately. Look at Tony Ferguson, right? He was on one of the longest fight streaks that we've ever seen in the UFC. And then he went on one of the longest loss streaks we've ever seen inside of the UFC. There's a large bracket of fans that just got into UFC and mixed martial arts as a whole when he was at the beginning of that loss streak. So for them, they never saw him in his prime. Like for my significant other, her first Anderson Silva fight was Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman 1. She never saw Anderson Silva in his prime, so she doesn't know how good this man was. And she hears all these MMA purists and MMA like old schools like myself saying, oh no, you don't understand. Anderson's the man. Age just caught up to him, which Age is the only fighter other than Khabib Nurmagomedov that will retire undefeated, right? Father Time is undefeated in this sport, and he always will be. So, I mean, he's absolutely right. Like, fans can be the worst thing in the world. I think there's a lot of toxicity in just fans having the ability to say things without getting checked online on the means of Twitter's, Instagram, YouTube, right? Like we've seen it in the comments. Yep. How often do you see some troll jumping in the comments when you're live and just talking trash to talk trash? Like, their whole purpose is to get a rise out of you. That's the end game for them. And they're not going to stop until they do, typically. So yeah, fans are very, very toxic, but these fighters know their way around. Like they're exactly that. They're fighters. They're resilient to it. I think Modi B can speak to that. I'm sure he's seen the good, the bad, and the ugly in his comment section. Oh yeah, right?
Well, we're definitely going to be getting to that with Modi B later on in the show when when we come to questions to him.
You just have to learn to kind of let it roll off your shoulders, right? Like Jay-Z said, dust your shoulders off. But yeah, age is an undefeated factor, and that's enough to worry about, let alone the stuff fans are saying about you as you're aging up.
For real. Cross, I'm going to ask you this. Are we in danger of just leaving, just not thinking Volk can really go in and really put the smack down on Lopez? Like, obviously, we've seen the momentum of Lopez coming into this fight, and something told me that that Leroy creamed this part while he was making that video when they were talking about Ortega getting bit the fuck up, because he knows that shit gonna hurt me. He knew that shit was gonna hurt me. As I was listening to that video there, I thought, oh, Leroy, you motherfucker, you have to put that in there. But are we in danger of literally forgetting what Volk has been about and how dominating it was? What he did to Holloway 3 times. Like, nobody really done that to Holloway before, you know? Like, are we in danger of that going into this matchup against Lopez?
I personally don't think we're in danger of that. Just simply in sports, man, everybody's memory is so short-sighted, and we don't really appreciate the guys as we should in the moment. And then once it's all over and we look back at it like, man, like that was wild. I got to see all of that. And to be honest, man, Volk is truly up against it in this fight. But at the same time, it's a great opportunity for him to write a beautiful story, to do something that's never been done in the UFC. Like, a guy to lose 2 fights back to back and then come back and win a title hasn't happened in the UFC. So the opportunity, the stage is there for a great story. And with a win, all the fans are going to be right back on the bandwagon.
Yeah, man. McDane, now let me ask you if you got something on this Lopez and Volk situation here, obviously from what Robert Whittaker was talking about earlier on. What do you got?
Yeah, well, I'm of the opposite choice. I mean, I think Diego Lopez is probably gonna get it early. That's the way I kind of see it going. You can't underestimate Volk at all. I mean, I think if it gets past the 3rd round, that's where we're really going to see him shine. But I feel like Lopez is going to come out with like some gas in his ass on, and he's just going to sprint across the octagon and just start going for him. I think if he gets it in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, it could go Lopez's way. But any later than that, you've really got to take the experience and the dog that Volk is into consideration as well.
Sterling, you got anything to put on that? I'm going to be coming to you both on the next topic, actually. But see if you got something to that topic, brother.
I think all you boys nailed it, man. It's sad watching these dudes go, though, man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. All the guys that fought before the Reeboks era, seeing all these guys leave, and like Volk, man, these people have no idea what this dude did, man. Dude's a monster. But I'm getting Volk all day, son. I'm from Texas, but this week I'm from the fucking land down under, son. Fuck Diego Lopez. But not like that. No disrespect. No disrespect. But, Volkanovski all day. Big Moody, you know how it is over here. You know how it is over here, Big Moody.
Hey, I've never seen a walk back so quick, bro. Like that was a quick walk back.
He was like,
yeah.
I just had to make sure that was said.
No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I hear you guys loud and clear. I wanted to come to McDane quickly. You were talking earlier on, because we saw your video. If anybody hasn't seen the video the rambling that put on his channel earlier on, he did some great work talking about the bantamweight division. So make sure you guys go over there and check it out. But one point that I did want to pick out from the video you made earlier on was obviously with Sean O'Malley getting back in there with Merab Dvalishvili, and there's certain people in the division obviously ain't happy about it. But from your standpoint, right? What's Sean going to do different? Because I heard something earlier on, which was also in your video, but from your point of view, what's Sean going to do different to get a result past Merab this time? And there's obviously people in the division that actually think they could do a much better job than what Sean O'Malley could bring to the table against somebody like Merab.
Yeah,
so that's someone being Corey Sandhagen, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Corey Sandhagen, Petty Yan. I mean, they're two names that come to mind when you think of who else could have had that title shot. But when you look at Sean O'Malley, like he has got the star factor, he's got the flashy persona and the funky hair, like it says in that video. Yeah, I mean, so he brings the punters in, he puts bums in seats, as they like to say. I mean, he's the one who's going to be selling the ticket, so you can understand why he's getting the shot. But at the same time, it wasn't like he didn't defend his belt for a long period of time. You know what I mean? He had the one defense against Chito Vera, and then he lost against Merab. Some people would argue that he should be having another layup fight before he's going to get another title shot. Personally, I'm not overly fussed which way it goes. I'm still going to watch the fight. You know what I mean? I don't think he's undeserving, but I also think that other people could have got a title shot as well, to be honest. It's going to be interesting from a what's he going to do different perspective. I think he needs to push forward a lot quicker. I think he needs to close the distance rather than letting Merab close the distance on him. I feel like in that first fight, he was constantly thinking about the takedown. He was getting walked down, getting pushed up against the cage, and then getting taken down, and Merab doing Merab things. But they call him the machine for a reason. So it's going to be interesting to see how the second one plays out, what he learned from this first one and what he's going to implement in the second one. Okay. And there's the hip surgery in there too. So that's another factor. But how much difference is that going to make when you've got somebody going for takedown after takedown after takedown? Crazy cardio.
That's true. That's true. What about you, Sterling? I mean, looking at this same back that we're talking about with somebody like a Corey Sandhagen saying, listen, I think I'm a bit more qualified to get into this fight here with Merab. But Merab seems to like Sean. Obviously, there's, like McDane said earlier on, he's bringing eyeballs to the fight. He's putting bombs and seats, and that means a bigger paycheck compared to maybe some of the other fighters that are in the division. And I've actually seen Merab trying to get Sean to really drive up this matchup and sell the fight, because he probably wants a bigger paycheck than he got the last time, knowing that he's going to whoop Sean anyways. I mean, what's your take on that situation there?
Bro, I was surprised that Corey even took the Figgy fight, because I thought Corey was going to be next, to be honest with y'all. I was super excited for that. But, I mean, us hardcores, we fucking want that shit all day. To the casuals, is Sandhagen versus Merab going to sell more than Sean O'Malley? I don't think so, bro. I get why Merab wants to fight O'Malley again, because he's going to do the same thing he did, boys. He's gonna make us think we're going to box. When we might see it, he might stand up a little bit more, which, I mean, I don't mind him doing what he does. I prefer him just to be the machine. So if he's going to go out there and probably we're going to get the same fight again like we did in Noche, and he's going to get that bag, son. He's going to get that bag, and then he's going to fight Corey. So it's kind of smart from Merab, bro, if you look at it like that, to be honest.
Yeah, man. Muddy, I want to ask you this. If you're with us, I wanted to ask you, when you look at that bantamweight division, right? And obviously Merab is ruling that division there with an iron fist, if you like. But there are certain people in the division that took exception to Dana saying Sean O'Malley is being the biggest star in the bantamweight division. People like Aljamain Sterling, they didn't like it. You know, there's some of the other guys that's been on there that's feeling kind of slighted. Like how do you how do people, obviously you're in the industry with them, manage those situations, those things like that, when you hear the top brass speaking about another fighter that's done maybe even less than you've done as a champion or as a contender in the division? Like how do you guys handle that sort of situation there?
Yeah, so sorry guys, like everything is like lagging, so everyone's
No, that's fine. Take your time.
Literally, so
You're good.
It's literally overplaying on my answers a little bit. But anyways, in my personal opinion, I think that ultimately it's down to who's bringing more eyes on the game, if you know what I mean. So you got, like, you know, obviously Sean O'Malley, like he's a massive draw. There's loads of people that are interested in him and what he's doing. Now it's funny because I think Merab, with some of the little skits that he's been doing and some of these little theatrics that he's been doing online, has given him a lot more popularity. And obviously then beating Sean O'Malley, he's taken away a lot of his steam, and Sean O'Malley is now sort of taking a little bit of a back seat in terms of promoting himself, because he's sort of working on himself a little bit more. And sometimes it can get a little bit hectic when you're in the public eye all the time. Like, you know, I can't imagine what it's like when you've got, like, you know, that many followers and like people always wanting stuff from left, right, and center. Do you know what I mean? Hearing so many different things. But look, ultimately at the end of the day, it's who's putting asses in seats, who's selling tickets, who's bringing the attention, who's bringing all the vibe into the MMA community. And those are the people that are gonna sell the most. They're gonna be the ones who are bringing the biggest draw, and you know, those are the ones that are gonna get rewarded the most at the end of the day. So it's kind of like you gotta have a bit of everything. You gotta be a freaking next level crazy competitor, athlete, savage in the cage, but you've also got to be an entertainer. You've got to be able to market yourself. So, you know, obviously Sean O'Malley does really well with that. So that's why, you know, people are coming and paying attention to him the same way that Conor McGregor did it in his whole career. So realistically, I mean, there's nothing wrong in what Dana's saying about all that, you know, because ultimately, as much as doing everything in the cage, you've got to be able to somehow market yourself. And it doesn't matter. Like, everyone's got their own different flavor to it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Khamzat Chimaev has got his own little flavor, but he's very popular. You know, like Robert Whittaker is more of the sort of the nice guy role, and people like that. So it just depends from which angle you're going. And yeah, ultimately it comes down to that. And obviously Sean O'Malley has done an excellent job of you know, bringing the MMA fan base and community behind him, just because of his personality and the way that he is. And, you know, fair play to him. But this is how the game goes, unfortunately. You know, you've got to be a savage in the cage, but you also got to be a savage out the cage. Yeah, man. I mean, that begs the next question, Muddy. Like, when are you gonna call Brazil a shithole like some of these other fighters? I don't know if I'll ever go that far, to be honest with you. But I think the best way to sort of approach this game is just be authentic, just be honest, just be who you are. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's a lot of people that get caught up in, I need to be a certain way or act this way and blah, blah, blah. And ultimately, you just got to come down and just be who you are. And if people gravitate towards you, they gravitate towards you. And I think people like seeing authenticity, you know, people like seeing people just being who they are, and people just naturally gravitate towards those people. And of course, there's got to be a bit of entertainment, but then that's just you being honest. Do you know what I mean? I feel like sometimes it's like, oh, you don't want to say this or you don't want to say that. That's not you being honest to yourself. And the only way that you can be honest to yourself is just by saying exactly how you feel. And that's the best way to do it in this game. We've only got a short space of time to do as much as we can in the sport. So ultimately, yeah, you have to really just let it all out, just embrace the madness and just be exactly who you are. Like, don't change anything for anyone. And yeah, people will gravitate naturally towards you being authentic. And like guys like Alex Pereira doesn't have to say much, but then when he goes out and performs and he's how he is, and you know, he's got that charmer energy and stuff like this. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's sort of my take on that.
Yeah, man. I hear you still. I hear you. I mean, talking about, you know, people that feel that Pereira energy and that Sharma energy, we come to kick him in the head. Because he ain't said a word. This evening since he got here, man. You know what I mean?
I didn't even say hello.
He ain't said a word. The internet fucking with you today, man. I get it, bro. You know what I mean? We all get them days. But I want to ask you this, Keith. There's a thing here with Patricio Pitbull, obviously coming into the fight against Yair Rodriguez, but there's a lot of people there that's thinking maybe the mileage that is racked up might not do him justice coming into the UFC and fighting UFC caliber fighters. We've seen, you know, how Dana is towards, you know, fighters coming into the UFC and him not thinking they are of that UFC quality. We started with Torres Finney. You know how many times that guy had to whoop some ass to get a contract from Dana. So Pitbull coming into the UFC and facing someone like a Yair Rodriguez straight off the back. They're saying the mileage on the clock might have been too much, and yeah, maybe Yair Rodriguez is going to style on him. What's your take on that whole situation? Yeah.
Look, we can't disagree with the mileage being too much. I mean, he's 36-7. That's over 40 fights, 40 professional fights. That's a lot of fights. So, you know, just simply from that perspective, he has taken a lot of damage over the years. Fortunately, he's not the highest weight class, so you don't take too much damage. It's not too many knockouts. But Yair comes with a lot of power. How do I see this going? Will Dana be right? I think Yair might find Pitbull a bit tough. He's a very tricky character. Yair tends to lose his focus sometimes, going for spectacular kicks or something that, you know, is going to be good with the crowd. And I think that's what might have Pitbull get the edge and win this fight. But will Dana be right? Look, he was right by Torres Finney. We saw that fight. It was kind of boring, honestly. I mean, he threw the record least number of significant strikes in a middleweight bout. So, I mean, Dana was clearly right there. So will he be right about Patricio? I don't think he won't be wrong, but to what level is the question?
Okay,
and shout out Big Moody. Thank you. Good to meet you on Fight Week Show.
Very good to meet you too, brother.
Yeah, man. That's Yao from Kick Him in the Head podcast over there in South Africa. Him and Dricos Duplessis, they're good buddies, man. You know what I mean?
Love that.
He's always over there in their gym, you know what I mean, doing some work with them and stuff. So yeah, man, big up Yao for pulling up. Cross, I also want to come to you and ask you, you know, what your take is on Patricio, you know, stepping in there with somebody like a Yair Rodriguez, if it might be too much. You know, we see certain fighters come from different promotions and they look like fish out of water. Some people, they left, they come back and they don't look out of place. You know, people like Muddy over here, right? They come, they go, and it's like they never left. But then you see certain fighters come from other promotions and it's like deer in the headlights moment sometimes. And you just know the golfing quality is so glaring for everyone to see. Do you think that will be the case here with Patricio Pitbull?
I don't think that's going to be the case at all. I mean, 8 of his last 10 fights were title fights. This guy has been in big fights. I don't think the lights are going to be too bright, but it will be Miami. Yair Rodriguez is going to be in there with that exciting fight style. And I think it's actually a good matchup for him because he's going to be fighting such an explosive, exciting fighter. And if he goes out there and gets it done, he gets a little bit of that rub, and now more UFC fans are familiar with Patricio Pitbull.
Yeah, I mean, dude, talking about Pitbull and Pico, I want to come to you, Olin, on this one, and McDane, if I may. But I'll come to you first, Olin. Like, you know, Aaron Pico signing to, you know, getting signed to the UFC as well, and there's rumors and rumblings of Evloev, you know, taking on the welcoming Aaron Pico into the promotion. I mean, this is another gem in my eyes, that's been brought into the UFC in Aaron Pico. What's your whole take? And do you like the Evloev matchup? And if you don't, what do you think is probably more suitable to welcome Aaron Pico into the UFC?
Yeah. First things first, I gotta say, Pitbull being added to the UFC roster is just an absolute godsend. I think this dude is the truth. It took all of 61 seconds to knock out Michael Chandler back in 2019 when Chandler was far more in his prime. Think about that. 61 seconds, brother. Like he's a real problem. And people think of wrestling when they think of him. What people fail to realize, and Modi B can speak to this, like the folks that are really efficient wrestlers, once they learn striking, they have unorthodox power in those strikes. It is weird. And he's one of those guys. And Aaron Pico, very similar, right? He's done work at AKA a long time ago, back when I was there very briefly. I saw him in the gym a few times. Like he's a special kid. And I truly think that he was being held back in the previous promotions he fought for. Do I like the Evloev matchup for Aaron Pico? Absolutely. I think that's a banger of a matchup. Do I think it makes any sense if your Movsar Evloev? Not a chance. You should be fighting up. You should be asking for a title shot. You should be standing 10 toes on the ground and standing on business with that request. And you asked me a follow-up, like, is there another matchup that I think would be better suited for him? Maybe not better suited for him, but better suited for us as fans. Oh, yeah. Give me Aaron Pico versus Arnold Almighty Allen. I mean, inject that into my veins, brother. I want to see it.
Let's go. I like that. Come on. McDane. I mean, only just segue right there for your boy. That's nicely set up for you, bro.
Sorry to put you on the spot there, McDane.
that's right there for you, McDane, man. Sure, man. Let's hear it, bro.
Man. Arnold Allen dust them, yeah. I mean, hometown boy. There's levels.
I'm hearing a bet.
I didn't expect any less from you, brother. I didn't expect any less.
I'm always gonna back Arnie, bro. I'm never gonna fucking say shit. Yeah, I mean,
come on,
100%. What I also want to say though, boys, is this fight was fake news. So you're talking about something that wasn't actually ever getting lined up. Big Marcel dropped this on his Instagram today. Okay. This is why you don't run with a report that you can't confirm yourself, even when the original sources are 99% legit. Find out yourself and don't just copy the news and act like you have sources telling you the same. Damn. You're a part of the problem if a fight is not done or gonna happen and you copy and post it. I make mistakes as well, but not time after time. Now you know why I never posted it. So that was leading to Crazy Kev, as we've seen on Twitter. Apparently he doesn't miss. He definitely misses. And that was a response to him from Big Marcel, basically saying, like, stop going to people.
Y'all be calling up with some fucking fake news all the time.
Yeah, from 2016. Yeah, I mean, so he's basically going to people, hearing about fight news, and then releasing it, which, as we've seen multiple times, like, one, it's out of order. It's not your business to share. Two, how many fights have fallen out because of it being leaked early when it shouldn't have been. Like, when it's still in the middle of negotiations, they don't really know that it's fully signed and it's not actually on the card yet. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many accounts of that.
Yeah, I mean, what do you? I mean, obviously, the one thing we do know is he's going to be getting signed to the promotion. But who do you think is good enough to welcome in, but not too much of being good enough to just whitewash him? And you know what I mean? Like, we still want to see a good fight, even though he's going to be getting welcome into the. Cause I think that's probably one of the toughest part of being a matchmaker. Like, you got to get that balance right. But who comes to mind for you?
Like, Arnold Allen is a shout. Yeah, I mean that would be a striking matchup that you'd want to see. So a Yair Rodriguez. You know what I mean? Can't complain with that. That would be an interesting matchup too. Was it you, S-Dogs, that said it?
Calvin, I like Calvin Qatar, dog. Him and Calvin Qatar would be a scrap. And like what you said with Giga, Calvin,
Arnold, Giga as well, yeah.
Ooh, Giga's a great shout, boys. Giga's a great shout.
That was last night we were talking about that, and I said,
Giga. Bro.
I remember hearing that in the show last night when I was listening. That was a really great shout. I meant to comment that.
If you just want to see a scrap, dude, and if you don't know Aaron Pico, he's gonna come in here and let it hang, son. And it's gonna be a war if you put him up against somebody like that. Evlovov did not get me going. I was so glad that was fake news because that just not fun. I think what they're doing with Patricio and Yair is perfect. So like, give him something like that.
Yeah, that's what's up. Okay, we've got another video here from Leroy that we are going to touch on, and I'm going to be coming to Sterling first for your take on that. Let's hear what Leroy has put together here for us.
Paddy Pimblett is confident he will beat Michael Chandler inside of 3 rounds. During a fighter interview with the UFC, Paddy had some fight week heat to share. I mean, what's the point of being nervous when you know you're gonna win? That's the way I look at things. I'm a lot stronger now. I've been doing my weights program specifically all the way through without a camp, so I feel very strong now. He's not gonna try, well, unless he loses his marbles and tries to take me down. I don't think he's gonna take me down. I think he knows I outmatch him on the floor. He thinks because he's fought Poirier and Charles and Gaethje, he doesn't get knocked out by them, that he won't get knocked out by me. They stood there and tried to brawl with him, and I come in with a game plan. I come in to do certain things in fights, and that's what I'll do to Chandler, and I really can't see myself knocking him out. I know his fight IQ isn't the best, and we've game planned for this fight. In another interview with UFC News, Paddy made his prediction for the matchup this weekend. This isn't going 5 rounds, Chandler gets finished in 2. What do you guys think of the matchup, and who do you see coming out victorious?
Hey, Sterling, Leroy asked you, bro. Leroy asked you.
Good.
End, bro.
That was good, man.
That's
Shout out
good, brother.
Leroy, man. Shout out Leroy. That boy smooth with it. But dog, honestly, to me, this is my main event, because the main event is gonna be a bit depressing if Volk loses. And I'm just gonna be nervous going into that fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be enjoying that fight laying down unders through my headphones that whole entire fight. This fight is gonna be a scrap, boys. This is gonna be 2 gladiators going in there and letting leather slaying, boys. I think if this fight does go to the ground, it's because somebody got dropped and the other one came on top, and it might stay there for a little bit. If it does go to the ground, son, Paddy's jiu-jitsu's fucking nasty. What he did to Bobby Green or King Green, let's never fucking forget, dirty. He's gonna be a problem. But here's the thing, though. Paddy's gonna come out there swinging with that head up, son. And if Michael hits you, boys, I mean, did you see their fists? They don't even look like human hands no more. They look like
Paddy with the broken
deformed.
knuckle. It looked fucking massive, that knuckle, didn't it?
Dude, if they hit you with that, I mean, Modestus, it's like Modestus over here. If he touches you, you're gonna go see Jesus Christ. You're gonna go see the God of gods. So it's like that, boys. If either one of these dudes get touched, have fucking fun. Modestus, what do you think, dog? Bit behind.
You there, bud?
I don't think he can hear you, Sterling.
I don't think he can either, but you know what I'm saying. So Ola, you toss it over to him, son.
Ola's got to do it.
No, he's heard it now. He's heard it now. Yeah, what you saying, Muddy? The boys are asking you about that. You know, about that fight with Paddy and Chandler. Coming into this.
Yeah, I think Paddy gets it done, man. I'm quite confident in that, actually. Just if you look at like even like the size difference, like you got the height difference, you got the range difference. Like Paddy, although as you've seen in some of his fights, he likes to keep his chin up high. I mean, if you saw in the Bobby fight, he was able to keep things at range. So, like Chandler needs to get in. He needs to duck and weave and get in close to be able to land his most powerful shots. And Paddy's been doing really well in his most recent fights of keeping it at range, using the low kicks. Do you know what I mean? Using the jab. And listen, as he's mentioned, take him down and see what happens. Do you know what I mean? Take him down and see and see what you can do on top with. And Chandler in his fights has seemed to leave openings against guys who've got good jiu-jitsu. So if it did end up going to the floor, I think Paddy would just be able to literally, it'll be like a fish out of water on the ground, because I know Paddy's ground game is of the next level. You know what I mean? The only way I see Chandler really winning this fight is if he lands some sort of looping shot whilst he's coming in and blitzing. You know what I mean? Big overhand right. You know what I mean? He smacks one of those on the chin, and then it's not a good day. But if Paddy can implement his game plan, keep it at range, keep it with a long jab, stiff jab, low kicks, and stuff like this, I think he would handily win this fight. Even though Chandler is an amazing athlete, I respect him so much. He's done so much in the sport, but I think, like I say, skill for skill, Paddy, just in my eyes, I just don't see any route to victory other than that big overhands by Chandler. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, that's my opinion, anyways.
I mean, Olin, you gestured that big overhand, right? But what if I mean, it's not like Chandler don't have grappling though, bro. Like it's not like he can.
This ain't the same Chandler that choked out Eddie Alvarez, brother.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me play the devil's advocate here, son.
Lay it on him.
It's not like Chandler don't, have that side of the fight as well. He can't get down. He can play dirty. We've heard from people like Poirier talk about how dirty Chandler is down.
Don't start that conversation.
That's why I'm coming to you. That's why I brought the Poirier.
Don't start that conversation with the Dustin Poirier fan in the house, bro. Don't do that.
That's why I brought it to you, brother. Talk to us, man. Talk to us. I want to hear this.
I mean, you're making great points, right? Like it's not like he's a new guy in mixed martial arts. Like he's been here for a very long time. He does have grappling, but there's different types of grappling, just like we can say there are different types of striking, right? There are karate strikers, there are taekwondo, there's Muay Thai, there's point style fighters, right? His style of grappling is very wrestle heavy. It's very wrestle pure. And the person he's going in there against is someone who realistically started training grappling for MMA purposes. It has a very heavy Brazilian jiu-jitsu style to it. But if you ask me to classify the style of grappling that Paddy brings to the table, I would tell you it's mixed martial arts grappling. He has chain wrestling. He has Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He has wrestling negation skills. So again, I think Modi B said it. Like if you shoot a takedown and you're Michael Chandler, good luck. You're gonna find out, bro. I hope you're back to lunch. Paddy, I think, will catch him in a guillotine so quick if Chandler shoots for a takedown the way that he did against Dustin Poirier. I love Dustin Poirier. He's my favorite fighter of all time. But the guy has attempted a ghillie in like at least 1 out of every 2 fights, and he's never successfully gotten one. Oh, by the way, he also submitted Michael Chandler. If he's able to do that, what do you think Paddy's going to do to him? Someone who not only submits people, but makes him look pretty funny. He makes him look pretty silly while he's doing it. Big King Green fan. Did you see the way he trapped that kid's arm while he was submitting him? That's not normal, bro. That is high-level, sophisticated grappling. And I think if Chandler shoots on him, he's going to get a hefty lesson in that high-level grappling.
And let's not forget, boys. Let's not forget, Paddy. Most his wins are by subs. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. People think of his hands, but he's literally he is a crafty, savvy veteran on the ground. He is leaps and bounds above the age in which he represents inside of that octagon when it comes to the grappling factor.
He's nasty, dude. I can't believe how nasty he is on the ground. Is he a black belt?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a black belt.
Dude. Like, bro, Paddy's he's a baddie when it comes to that stuff, man. You know what I mean? He goes by the name and represents it. You know what I mean? The one thing that I keep saying, and obviously it's probably why they keep putting all these strikers, on his way. And the matchup that I've been waiting on is probably going to happen because they're now in the same division. They're on the same trajectory, and there's a time that they might meet up. I'm talking about Ilya and Paddy Cross, right? Ilya been calling out Paddy for a long time.
Hand sanitizer, boy.
Why did you sound Irish?
He's been calling him out for a minute, and we know he wants that fight just to prove a point, right? Because Paddy be talking about Scousers don't get knocked out, you know what I mean? But Ilya wants to test it. Ilya wants to put that to the test. Now, talk to me, Cross. How do you see that fight happening if eventually they get them? Like I said, they're on the same trajectory. It's kind of like how I felt about Hamza and Shavkat. But eventually, Hamza had to move out of the 170 division and went to 185. But I felt like they were keeping them apart for that big fight when they eventually meet up at the top. So I think that's the same case here for Paddy and Ilya, but just hypothetical, humorous. If what happens if that fight gets put together?
Make a pick.
So I'm gonna remind everybody, like we all saw the Paddy versus Jared Gordon fight, and how many times he was getting caught clean on the chin. You can't play that game with Ilya Topuria, and I think Ilya Topuria would send Paddy to the land of wind and ghosts. But unfortunately, I don't even think he's gonna get the chance because I really think we're gonna get some deja vu with Michael Chandler, Dan Hooker, right straight to the body, left hook over the top, clip him on the chin. Good night, Irene.
Raw. Okay, you took it somewhere else,
like
bro.
it.
I wasn't
like
expecting that. You got something on that,
No.
Yao? Like you scratching your
I
chin,
like
bro.
it.
You scratching your chin, Yao. You got something else on that, brother?
No, he just went to Friday's show to try and convince us. That's why I'm scratching my chin. That's the only reason I'm scratching my chin. I'm like, you're not gonna get me, not today.
Yao,
Hey, you heard it here first, y'all. You heard it here first.
Y'all got that PTSD, bro. You got that PTSD. I know what's happening there, y'all, but I hear you. I feel you. We are 45 minutes in. Muddy, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you to the panel as well for what they've been doing so far. Big up to everybody that's locked in right now. Nearly 100 of you watching us live. Salute to every single one of you. Please, I want you to do us the honor of following everybody on the platform. Modestus Bukowska, make sure you follow him on all socials. We got Crossover MMA. We got MMA Normally. We got the Rambling Dad podcast. We've got S-Dogs, MMA Talk, and we got Kick Him in the Head, Keith, and of course the Fight Week show. Make sure that you're following every single body on the platform. Right. Before we go to the final video that Leroy got for us, I wanted to ask. I did put a question down here, and this one here I'm going to come to the Rambling Dad on. Paddy made a pick, if you like, or take, and he reckons John Bones Jones beats up on Tom Aspinall, brother. Right? This is what Paddy said.
Do you realize who's sitting below you, bro? You better
know,
respect the man. You better put some respect on his name, son. Like, Lord, if he's gonna fuck you up, son, you better put some respect on that man.
You just lost a friend, bro.
Listen, he was backing Paddy earlier on. Now I'm finna spin around all these brothers, but I see what.
Yeah, he doesn't endorse his picks, though. He doesn't endorse his picks.
So I'm coming to you, bro, McDane. I mean, Paddy's saying that. Is this? I mean, number one, why do you think he'd say something like that? Because I thought maybe there was a little bit of a, camaraderie that'll be going on with, with our English fighters. But it looks like Paddy said, no, fuck everybody. You know what I mean? I'm going with Jones. Like, what's that about?
That's just Manchester and Liverpool, mate. They've never got on. It's a feud that's gone back for hundreds of years. That one.
You know what? I like the dimension you've taken it, brother. I like it. Please tell us more.
If that's his honest opinion, his honest pick, then that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, if he thinks that Jones is going to beat Tom, then sound. That's his opinion. Isn't entitled to it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, though, does it? Yeah, I mean, like Tom's too fast. He's too slick. He's fucking like anybody that thinks that Tom can't grapple is an absolute fucking idiot. Yeah, I mean, like everyone's like, what happens when John Jones puts him on his back? Fucking watch what happens if John Jones manages to put him on his back. No, he's Derek Lewis stand up, knock his ass out.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. D. Lewis.
Hey,
and hit me, brother. You know what I want.
Come on, bro. I got you. Let's see here. Where's it at? Here
I'm happy. Thank you. Oh, here we go.
Tommy Aspinall. Tommy Aspinall.
Okay. All right. Shut that shit down.
You're outnumbered, Ola.
Let me come to Big Buddy on this one. I mean, we've seen the evolution in your game. I mean, since you've been out there training with Tom Aspinall and the people around him, we see all over your social media the work that you've been doing. Racking up the submissions as well, and like I said, the significant difference and leveling up in your game is there for everyone to see. Now, how much of a badass is Tom Aspinall? Being around him, we see in his fights, but being around him, maybe some of the things that the general public or fans don't get to see. That that you can just give us a little nugget of what this brother is really about, and if he's really about this whole Jones situation, brother. Talk to us.
Tom is an absolute animal. Tom is an absolute animal. It's crazy because I'm so grateful and honored to be able to train with the interim heavyweight champion of the world, who in my eyes I believe will be the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yes,
and I know
buddy.
that's contrary to other people's opinion, but honestly, if you look at his game, I've never seen someone so fast. Like, I'm a light heavyweight, and I'm a fast light heavyweight. I'm not a slow light heavyweight. Like, I like to use my speed to my advantage. Tom is also using that speed to his advantage. He used to do the sparring with Tyson Fury back in the day, and you can see it like in his hands and his movement. You know, he's working with high-level grapplers as well. You got Phil DeFries in the camp. You know, I think he's like an 11-time KSW champion, and he does the same thing to everyone. Takes them down and beats them up on the floor. And he's got this guy to train with, like, on a regular basis, to try and hold him down, to try and beat him up, and he has to overcome that and weather that storm. Like, honestly, if it would have went to the floor against Curtis Blades, I think he would have been readily able to handle himself. You know, obviously, I understand John Jones is another level. He's going to be working with, like, really good guys. He's got Gordon Ryan. You know, obviously, he's going to be taking this fight very, very seriously. You know, he's very versatile. He adapts on the fly very well. So obviously, this is something that when it gets to the fight, obviously we got to see how Tom's gonna be able to do that in the fight. But honestly, if you look at his speed, his tenacity, the way that he is able to cut distance and range, like you see Jones get caught whenever he's like sort of backing up, and then Tom's able to get like this fast flurry of shots, and he's able to like just get that distance management. Like when I'm sparring with him as well, I can see it. Like the distance management that he gets is unlike any other fighter that I've seen. He'll make you think that you're out here, but in reality, he's here. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's a completely different level. And you know, obviously, my boy Tom. Not only is he a great guy, you know, a great dad, a great human being, but he's a great athlete. He's very dedicated to his cause. He's literally living, breathing, being the best athlete in the world. He's not doing anything else outside of that. So, you know, he's going to come in with a very strong mindset, because I think mindset is another big part of the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, how you going in there into the fight? Like, how are you preparing yourself? How you... Like, if you know you've done everything that you possibly can, you've been doing it for ages, then there's no way you can't bring on your best performance. So Jones is going to be a very difficult task, but I do believe Tom can get it done.
I mean, you said a lot there in terms of, you know, Jones being, you know, a very, very difficult task, but you believe Tom gets it done. I mean, Sterling, I want your take on this whole situation here. Obviously, Paddy, like I said, talking about the camaraderie. There's so many. How do I frame this? So many places, right? You look at where these geographic places where these fighters are from, and they don't want to say something bad about each other. Maybe sometimes don't even want to fight each other, right? But Paddy here, obviously siding with Jones. It's not really, and the same thing with Americans, if you like y'all don't give enough. I mean, you lot don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? You say how you feel, and you pick who you want to pick, you know, all that freedom of speech, First Amendment, nobody be trying to infringe on that, right? So tell me, I mean, do you think Paddy is right here to go against the grain and pick against his countryman in what he's saying, in Tom? But everybody's perception as well is that Jones don't want this smoke with Tom. He's ducking from Tom because he knows Tom's gonna do him over, and he just wants that big payday, right? Before calling it quits. Like, what's your take on this thing, Sterling? Well, you know Cross's take, you know my take, but we want to hear yours.
Dog, very, very, very rarely do me and Cross rock with the same pick here, but I'm 100% with my dude. And hey, and as a fellow American who never picks Americans, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if Cross is over here with John Jones, I got to go with John. But to Moody's point here, bro, Tom is going to be the hardest dude I think John Jones is like to fight. Like, size-wise, power-wise, speed, just how good he is, bro. I mean, he's grown up doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, his dad's taught him this shit since he was a child, bro. This is all he does. And like what Moody was saying, his range is disgusting. And just how fucking quick he is.
Hold on, who's Moody?
Big Moody.
Who's Moody, bro? You having a bad day?
You know
Moody
how
right now?
You know how he is with names, bro. You know how he is with names.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna say his name. Don't do that to me.
My brother.
Moody,
Modi.
if I say your name, you're gonna
Appreciate
have
that. Appreciate that. Big
brother,
love, man.
You're gonna have 6 different names if I say your name, so I can't do it to you like that.
I'm
I
surprised
don't
he's
wanna
not throwing random A in there somewhere. Big Muda.
Come on, I
He
can't.
likes,
I can't.
likes adding A's to names that don't exist.
Big Maddie.
I can't disrespect you like that, dog. So I just got to go with what I'm going with off the dome here. But
I got you, man. I got you, bro.
But
got you,
I
bro.
feel a little bit disrespectful picking John Jones after you just tossed up everything you were saying about Tom. I was hoping this was going to go to Cross so I could follow him. But I'm sorry, Moody. I got to go with John Jones here. But here's the thing. I'm not hating if Tom gets it done. I'm not hating at all. Big fucking Tommy guy here. But if you told me gun against my head, I got to go with John Jones and Cross. Back me up now.
Bro, like I hear all of what you guys are saying, and I get it. But one thing you guys are leaving out is John Jones' mind.
Let's go.
Got all the skills, puts it all together, and that is an element that Tom hasn't seen against anybody. But at the end of the day, I hope the fight happens because I want to see who gets it. Obviously, I'm gonna ride with John because if John gets it done, you know. The send off and him just exiting the stage left, defeating all generational fighters. There's not going to be anything else anybody else can really say.
Yeah, I mean,
so Cybora's not got a mind that doesn't know how to put it together.
Ooh,
Curtis Blades
shit.
hasn't got a mind that doesn't know how to put it together.
Ah, shit.
Like John
Here we
Jones?
go.
Absolutely not.
No, not like John Jones.
Absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not.
I
Absolutely
can
not.
jump into this, Cross. Like I completely agree with what you're saying in factor of the mind, right? Like me and you had this conversation a handful of weeks ago when we were sitting, like literally having breakfast before we went to 311. We talked about the fighting nerds and Carlos Prates, and we agreed that the best thing about him, it's not his striking, it's not his speed, it's not his timing, it's his brain, it's his mind, it's his eyes, it's the way he sees things, right? So Big Modi beats Jones at 205. Facts. Let's go. Let's go.
Love that.
come on.
But no,
Love
like
that.
I
Love
do
the
agree with you. Like
support, guys.
dude, we'll always be in your corner, bro.
Come on,
I
dog.
love you guys. Honestly, that that means a lot. Like I say, do you know what I mean? It's funny. It's mad to even think that when I was 22, I was sparring with the guy. So yeah, man. Like I say, that would definitely be a dream matchup of mine.
Oh, hold on. What you was sparring with Jones at 22?
Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, with Jones?
Where at in Albuquerque?
Sheesh.
No, dude.
I don't know
Guys,
why.
so sorry. My fingers like
No, all right.
literally
It's all right.
no,
It's
you're
all
good.
right. It's
So
all right,
bad.
Big buddy.
Oh, you see all y'all perked
good, you're
up
good.
when he said he sparred with Jones.
Ah,
Fuck off, Cross.
let's go,
Let's go. Hey, he said he sparred with Jones. Everybody's like, what?
I understand.
It was a while ago. It was literally.
Yeah,
when I
tell
was
us
like-
more, man. Tell us more, big
Yeah,
buddy.
tell us about that. You talked us through the Tom sparring. We got to hear the John sparring. Give us
we
both
got-
sides of the coin here, brother.
Exactly. We got to hear this.
Let's go.
Obviously that was a different time. Like I say, I was like 22. I think I was 4-0 as a pro at the time, and I just remember, yeah, like we were literally like sparring pretty much most days, like for 10 weeks, and I will say though his wrestling was on another level. Like when it came to wrestling, he was throwing me about all over the place. But like I say, I mean, you know, he's the greatest of all time, and you know what I mean. When you're facing that guy, yes, in Albuquerque, yeah, that's right, yeah. And yeah, man, like I would say, like I say, in the striking exchanges, I definitely held my own. Do you know what I mean? His sorry, mate. Like my screen is like lagging mad. So like
It's fine.
like
It's fine.
basically
Ignore
showing
it.
everyone's responses. Yeah. Like I'm so sorry. On my end, like it's showing everything, like literally, like maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes after it's been said. So that's why, like, sometimes I can't give you real time reactions. You know what I mean? But anyways, I'll do my best here, anyways. Yeah, like I say, I mean, you know, like, you know, we had some really good rounds. I mean, listen, if he was asking me to spar him all the time, whenever there was 10 weeks, like you know, 10 weeks on my training camp, and he wanted to spar with me, you know, that pretty much says that, you know, that I can fight. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was doing rounds with the heavyweights. I was doing rounds with Jones every day. I was doing grappling rounds with him. And, you know, obviously he's an absolutely incredible athlete. I will say his wrestling was something that I've never seen before. Like, I definitely, like, since that experience, I knew that I had to work so hard on my wrestling, to especially on the defensive side, to make sure that I'll be able to cope against guys who've got wrestling of that. And his limbs are just so long. Like, do you know what I mean? He can, like, hit you from different angles. But like I said, mate, I mean, you know, like, you know, it's not like I got completely wiped the floor with. Do you know what I mean? I held my own. And, you know, this was when I was 22. And I believe Jones was probably 27 or 28 at the time. This was when he was fighting over in St. Preux. So, you know, he's and like I said, I sparred with both of them. I know that obviously Jones would have improved massively since then, probably especially in the grappling side. And but obviously Tom's, you know, been coming up and working his way up the game, and, you know, he's got different attributes. And, you know, Jones is at heavyweight, not a light heavyweight anymore. At light heavyweight, he was a different guy. You know, he's completely shredded, and, you know, he brought different attributes to the game. So, you know, now at heavyweight, it's going to be, things will change slightly. Do you know what I mean? Maybe he hasn't got quite the speed that he has before. So this is why, you know, like I say, I had an incredible experience sparring with both men, and you know, both are great guys, both are great athletes, and for me, I'm obviously looking forward to it. But like I say, having sparred them both, and, you know, I just got to go with my boy Tom. He's like I say, for me, he's an inspiration. Like, Tom for me is like my idol. And you know, I really want him to do well, and I know he can do well because I've seen it in the gym. When he turns it on, mate, that right hand is from hell, mate. Honestly, if that right hand touches you, it's not a good day. And yeah, man, like I say, in MMA, you have to work everything. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could say I've been incredibly blessed to be able to be in a room with all of these savages. So you know, I'm very grateful because it just makes me a better athlete myself. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing all the results of all of these fights, man.
Yeah, man. We got one more video from Leroy. You know, a lot of hard work to put these videos together. We're going to listen to the last one. I'm going to get everybody's takes. And after that, or a couple of people's takes. After that, we've got some questions for Modestas, you know, about what he's been doing, what he's got coming up, and all this other stuff. Whatever questions you guys got for him, you guys can fire them at Modestas. But let's get this one more clip that Leroy has put together for us before we get out of here. Let's see.
UFC lightweight Armen Tsarukyan has fired back at Paddy Pimblett after the Liverpool native appeared on the Full Send podcast criticizing Armen over his alleged injury before pulling out of UFC. He responded on X, criticizing the Paddy for a supposed easy path to the ladder of the lightweight division. Says the guy who got the easiest path to the top in UFC, just because he's got a funny accent and a budget Beatles haircut, Tsarukyan wrote. I dare you to call me out if you win, and we will see who will shit their pants in the octagon when we meet.
Let me come to you, Keith, because you've been dipping in and out, and we know your internet is giving you some problem. But I want to get you while you're still here. What do you make of that whole situation there with Armen Tsarukyan and Paddy? And Paddy obviously speaking to it on what Dana said, because at the time as well, I thought the way Dana was talking about it, he wasn't too happy with Armen Tsarukyan, and he thinks Armen Tsarukyan actually ducked the thing rather than not being able to fight. And now, weeks later, months later, we're now kind of getting some clarity to maybe Armen might not be as injured as he was claiming to be. Like, what does this do for Armen? What does this do for Armen? And even if Armen and say Paddy get into it, how do you think that pans out? Talk to me.
So, you know, it's tricky to say that someone that's at the top of their game about to fight for a title would duck it by saying they have a sore back. You know, it's not something I think someone like him would do. But with that said, you know, we've had fighters that fight through other crazy injuries. We've had Ricketts whose nose wasn't working and he broke his toe and all kinds of things. So, you know, to say my back was sore, I'm not going to fight, I'm not going to give myself a chance, isn't what we think the fight game is about. But it is a smart move to not take the fight. However, if you're Dana, you've now had to put Renato Moicano, who we all know was not ready, against literally the pound for pound king, Islam Makhachev, which is then unfair on Moicano and Makhachev. So I'd also be pissed off if I was Dana. Now, how would it pan out if Tsarukyan had to come back and face Pimblett? Look, I'm not going to make a call on that one. That's a very, very tough fight there. I don't know. But maybe Tsarukyan. It'll be a great fight. I'd like to see that fight. I'd like to see them squash the beef. So, yeah, I'm not too sure who'll take that one at this point.
I mean, McDane, do you want him to squash the beef? I don't want to squash no beef. I don't want to hold. Hey, hey, McDane, talk to me, brother. You want that beef squashed?
Not really. I'd be interested in seeing the fight. If Paddy gets past Chandler, that'd be the next step he could take towards getting his title shot. You know what I mean?
Hey, let me stop you right there. Paddy said if he gets past Chandler, he wants Charles Oliveira or Justin Gaethje.
Right. Okay. Fair.
Take my money.
I'm all over those fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But now,
I mean,
if Tsarukyan wants it, you know what I mean? Paddy's really setting a storyline there. You know what I mean? He's probably being smart. He's on camera. He knows what he's doing. He's not daft. Let's throw some insults out. Let's wind up this beef a little bit more, and then we can have a look and see if that's something they can line up in the future.
I like it because who knows down the line that might be a number one contender fight, and Paddy can see that coming. And the names that I put in the hat as well. Let me come to you, Cross. The name that I put in the hat as well in the Charles Oliveira or Justin Gaethje knows that gets him to the dance as well. That gets him to the table where he can start talking about Islam a little bit. What do you think?
I mean, it makes sense why he brought up Armen Tsarukyan's name. I mean, we all know what happened at UFC 311. He didn't make the fight. There's some rumors as to why. We all think what we think. So it's very easy to kick the guy while he's down. So I get that. He's gotta set up fights down the line and make money for himself. So I get that side of it. But on the flip side, you got to fight this weekend. Like, that's what you need to be worried about. Like, you got to go in there with a killer, Michael Chandler, that's trying to knock your block off, and you need to get ready for that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Olin, you got something on that?
No, I mean, just gonna ride the coattails of all the better speakers than me in the chat right now. No, I feel like it's a great call out to call Armen. I mean, he crapped the money bag, right? Like me and this guy, we were there. The only thing that I can say that he did right is speaking of right, that's me right here to your right. The only thing I can say he did right is at least he pulled out early enough for them to rework all the merch, which me and Cross literally both talked about ad nauseum that we were super impressed by. They had new merch at the event for sale with Money Moicano's face instead of Armen. They already replaced him on all the merch. They had him replaced on the signs. It was insane, bro. The level of production, like, what was it, 2 days? They had 48 hours to rework. No, it was 1 day. Oh my God. That's a marketing nightmare, bro. Working in corporate marketing and sales, I know this is a literal nightmare for the UFC, but they're like, you know what? We're in the fight business, so what are we going to do? We're going to roll with the punches. They reprinted everything. It was fantastic. As the other speakers have said, like, was Money Moicano ready for that step up in competition? No, but he's made his whole shtick for the last 13 months. Moicano wants money. Yeah. He got more money. So, I mean, did he lose the fight? Yes. Did he win the war? Yes. The guy succeeded. He passed the mission, baby. He's on to the next level. And the best thing about it is he lost the fight, but it took nothing away from him because people aren't saying, oh man, Moicano really had a chance in there against Islam. Nobody was saying that going into that fight. Everybody knew how the fight was going to play out. So Paddy's a smart guy, and he knows exactly how to keep himself in the limelight before he fights, after he fights, and everything in between. Armen is trying to claw back his way at a winnable fight and get himself back into favorable fashion with the big boss, right? The tomato himself, Dana White. So yeah, I mean, it's a smart play for both guys. The more they talk crap about each other, the more we talk about them both. And the more it works themselves into a fight, whether it's against each other or the next best thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, Sterling, let me get your take on this whole Pimblett, Armen Tsarukyan. And even if, again, like we said, if that fight was to happen down the line, what your thoughts are on that fight if it does happen?
I'm with Paddy,
knowing
bro.
what both of their skill sets are. Sorry. Continue.
Bro, bro. I'm with Paddy all day, bro. I think that was bitch boy shit by Tsarukyan. You're trying to impress Nina Drama. You fuck up your back, and the day before the thing, it could have been a weight cut issue. A lot of people were saying that he wasn't going to make the weight, but I think it was a little bit of both. And you really fumbled that fucking bag, man. And then you want to cry about not getting the title shot or not still being in the top 3. Fucking mind blowing to me. I think Paddy fucks him up. I'll be real honest with you. I think Paddy goes there and handles him. The only Armen Tsarukyan fight I've ever been impressed with is him and Gamrot. Besides that, his fights suck. It might just be me. I get it. He's a boring ass dude. He's got that Torres Finney vibe to me. Besides that one fight where Monteus Gamrot made him stand up and actually get active. What are you about to say, McDane? Oh my bad. I thought you say something. But yeah, no, that's it, bro. I mean, that's what I think. I think if they did fight, I think Paddy handles them up. It's not going to be an easy fight for fucking sure. I hope they give him. He needs to get somebody down. I think he needs to be out of the top 10. I think that was some bitch boy shit. I think you need to be out of the top 10. You need to fight a couple guys now for you even get a big name, in my opinion.
Okay. Just got a message here from Big Muddy. Salute to Big Muddy for his time. He's out to deep. The lagging is giving him like you can see how later on he's receiving all the information, and especially when he replied to you during that whole talk about fighting with sparring with Jones and stuff. So the connection is killing his laptop at the moment. So he's had to dip out, but he said he's going to pull up next time. We're going to rearrange this where he's going to be able to answer all of your questions, because he did know you guys had some questions for him. And you guys already know him now. He's met you guys. You can always reach out to him. And he said he's happy to do one-on-one interviews as well with you guys. So just so you know, he's a stand-up guy. And yeah, man, salute to Big Muddy. We appreciate your time. We appreciate everything that, you know, coming into the podcast. We appreciate it. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And yeah, we'll be getting you back next time. But we have a 3-14 card on our hands. And before we get out of here, I just want to see which fight is really you know, it's gotten your attention that you're really looking forward to see. Let's start with McDane. Let's start with McDane over here. I'll work my way around. Let's see what McDane is saying. Which fight you're really looking forward to seeing?
UFC 314 being a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
The people pay pay-per-view. The people pay. The people pay. The people pay because the people want to say, because I know the people pay. The people working a lot. You need the respect for the people. The people pay, working a lot and pay pay-per-view.
Hey,
the people pay.
Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. The people pay for the pay-per-view.
Respect, man.
Favorite fight on the card, boys. Let me have a quick look at that card. You know what I mean? I don't want to fucking throw it. I mean,
this card's solid.
Look, I'm gonna start.
This card's solid. I'm looking through it right now, and
I'm gonna start. And I'm telling you right now, I'm looking forward to that Dan Ige show.
I knew he was about to say that.
That's a firefight, son. That's a firefight.
Built motherfucker. I need Dan Ige to get at that boy and do something bad to him, man.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Hey, come on. I'm looking forward to that. That's the fight that I wanted. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Hey, I'm just praying for a good fight between Bryce Mitchell and John Silva, pun intended.
Bryce Mitchell all day. Hey, you know what? Ola, I'm with you, dog. If we're gonna go early prelims, Darren Elkins, Juicy J. Take my money.
Juicy J. If you would bet money on Juicy J every time he's an underdog, you would be up so much fucking money right now, kids.
That's going to be a scrap. That's going to be
what you got, you found one yet?
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah, I mean, you've also got a lineup there with big fucking Jim fucking Miller and Chase Hooper. Yeah.
Chase Hooper, yes. That's
the dream.
Real quick,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Chase the Dream Hooper. Great.
Hang on that point by McDane there. How about all the old dogs and young lions in this matchup on this card?
I think the old lions are about to roar, baby.
I got the most slept on fight on the card, though. The most slept on fight card. Nikita Krylov, Dominic Reyes. Most slept on fight on the card.
It's time, baby. It's time for Dominic Reyes to continue that rise.
Oh,
I hope
shit.
so. I
mean,
hope so.
Yao, you got
You and me both, brother.
Oh, yeah.
You and me both.
Yeah,
But
Look, I'm all up in the Chase Hooper.
Sterling. Oh, go on.
Chase Hooper, Jim Miller, Bryce Mitchell, John Silver. Those two fights. Those are the two I'm looking forward to the most. Those are the ones.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I just quickly want Sterling to go to the card and then go to like the feature prelim.
Nah,
And just tell me his favorite fight from the feature prelim.
Hey, he's looking forward to
How
that.
bad is it? Oh, come on, bro. Why would you do that to him, bro?
He's looking forward to that Yan Xiaonan.
I was literally like, is that the SD fight?
Yeah, it's
bro.
the fight.
Bro,
I knew exactly where he was going. So predictable.
Hey, can I just tell you one of the craziest like moments I've had as a fight fan, like being in a live fight, was the Mikhail Oleksiejczuk fight against Kevin Holland. When he dropped Kevin Holland, we were 5 rows away from the cage, and my feet vibrated from how hard Kevin hit the mat.
That's crazy.
Brother, that was and he won that fight. That was the craziest thing about it. When he hit the mat, I was like, oh, he just died.
One thing
He won.
I can promise Yao and Sterling is the Yan Xiaonan fight. And
Nah,
fight.
don't do it.
Money.
Don't you do it. Nah, don't you do that.
Hey, that's gonna be way better than Power Slap. That dude, that's
Yeah,
a
don't let him
great
do that.
fight.
Bro, it's a
And that
number
fight
one
is-
contender
that
fight,
fight is.
Sterling.
I was gonna say that fight is riddled with implications, bro.
Hey,
It's
hey,
got
I'll be
title
real.
shot written all over
I'll
it.
be real with y'all. Zhao Nang, or
And
whatever you say it, she's a beast.
Yan Xiaonan?
She's a beast.
Jambadam, jambadam, bambadam. I'm going for that one.
Took her
Hey,
dirt.
Hey, you know what? You know what I think is super interesting? That none of us said Yair Pitbull. I think that's wild. That none of us are even like. We're all just like, yeah, I'll watch it.
Because it's 50-50, bro. It's got 50% chance to be really great and 50% chance to be really boring.
It could suck.
Like
It
there's
could
a high percentage chance, in my opinion, that Patricio Pitbull just goes out there and puts it on Yair Rodriguez and grapples him. And if you like scrambles, if you like exchanges, you will be entertained. If you started watching MMA in the last 3 to 5 years, maybe it's a good time to go get a beer and do a couple shots with the boys. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not. But it's a bit. I'm not gonna lie to y'all though. Is there one more before you wrap it up, Ola? Is there one guy y'all want to see?
Oh,
Like, I
he's
want to see
hungry,
Johnny
bro.
Eblin.
He's needing his
I know
dinner.
he's starving right now. But before you end it, is there any like I want to see Johnny Eblin? Is there anybody else y'all want to see in the UFC since they're signing these guys like Pico and Pitbull?
Can I mention one more fight that nobody's talking about all week?
That
I think is going to be a sleeper.
Let's go back to the fucking
No.
card.
Right
Go ahead.
before we move on to the next question, because I know you have a great question. It's gonna take over here. Sumo Derji versus Mitch Raposo is gonna end up being a fun ride for as long as it lasts. One of those men is getting finished, and there will be blood. Like if you've seen a Sumo Derji fight, that dude, win or lose, he's in exciting fights. And Mitch Raposo needs to be in an exciting fight in order to keep a contract.
Yeah, you're not
But
wrong.
Sterling presented a great question.
And Sterling, to answer your question, I mean, there's tons of fighters out there, and I mean, if Dana really wants to do something for me right now, go and do right by Francis Ngannou and bring him back.
This guy. Let's go, Ola. Let's go,
do right
Ola.
by Francis
That's a
Ngannou.
great response, but that's like the only one that's never going to happen.
Go and do right by him. Who knows? I mean, Francis.
Ain't gonna happen.
Maybe when Dana leaves the org, maybe that's a stipulation.
Exactly.
Hunter will
about to say
sign
the
him.
same thing. Exactly about. the
Sorry,
same thing.
McDade. Yeah.
But
No, you good. Hive mind, bro. Hive mind.
Maybe these guys, the guys that probably got better names in the hat than I got. But
no, Francis is the best name. I think. Oh fuck, never mind. Francis is not the best name. You just got trump carded, brother.
Sorry.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, I was really thinking that you would hit the hammer on the head there, but then this guy came in.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Ross was waiting all show for that one.
Yeah,
yeah, that one chambered.
Micaiah was a clean one.
No, Micaiah was a good one, man. You got something, Keith?
CM Punk.
Yeah.
It's going back to 2016.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Look,
John Cena.
The one name I wanted in has just come over. Chanel Dyer just signed with the UFC. I was looking forward to seeing her across, and she's already across. So Chanel Dyer for me. But other than that, another name, Dakota Tcheva. She's also seemingly on her way coming over. It's mostly the women. Seeing Chris Cyborg back, I'd love to see Chris Cyborg back. I think the women's
Like Ngannou, that probably ain't gonna happen either.
Oh, Ngannou was when you asked the question at first. That's the first name I said is Ngannou. Let's get him back. Let's be like, look, guys,
man,
like the WWE used to do it back in the day when they had like, Raw SmackDown reunion, blah blah blah. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's bring him back. Let's make it a show. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Man, why not? I mean,
There's one more name that hasn't been mentioned.
Usman Nurmagomedov.
Okay, all right. There's two names that haven't been mentioned. I had that one in the back pocket just because I knew you were about to come in here with the Nurmagomedov glazing.
Yeah,
but
that's
hey,
a good one.
I mean,
That's a good one.
I what I'm getting is that you guys love the dudes. What about Dakota Dechiva?
Yao just said it.
I mean, Dakota Dechiva. I know, like, yeah,
Dechiva.
What, like, two people out of all of us on that train though? Come on, bro. I feel like that should have been the first name mentioned.
No. So
from the PFL.
Here's a third one because I was about to say it if Yao didn't. Yeah, I mean, so and then Yao came out with it afterwards.
Yeah, there's more.
Now and the Dakota then, and those two are tip on tongue as well.
Dakota and Usman, I think, aside from Francis, are probably the two best ones.
Yeah, man.
But McDane, you got a third name?
I was saying McDane. What's your third? You got me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, I'm dying to hear it now.
I never said I had a third one. On me think.
Mate.
I don't think I did. Did I?
Mate, you said you had a third one.
You did. You literally just said there's a third.
Cedric Doumbé. That's another one.
Oh, Cedric Doumbé would be a fucking.
The walkout with he's the one that walked out with the mattress, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was nasty work, bro.
Cedric Doumbé would be nasty.
He walked out with a mattress with like his opponent's name written on it in black paint. Like that was nasty work.
Hey, Black Diamond. Let's get Black Diamond in the UFC.
Jason
baby.
Jackson.
Jason Jackson would be a fun shout, Cross.
Yeah, Jason Jackson.
I don't know if you guys like you are degenerates like me, like you like watching the sparring footage and all that shit. Go and look up Jason Jackson versus Luke Rockhold sparring footage. That is such fun sparring footage, bro.
Some degenerate bucks blood, like my fucking shit transcends being degenerate, man. Like,
no, brother, no, we're ace degenerates, bro, like Johnny Lawrence.
And then bring Rod Tang and Superlek over here too. Bring them over
brother.
He
He said who would be fun to see in the UFC. We're not trying to see the first death in the UFC, bro. You don't want to bring Rod Tang over here. All of that. Come on. I'm here for it. As a Muay Thai guy, I'm Rod Tang all day. I'm here for it.
Haggerty too. Get Haggerty in the Come on, bro. Let's one championship. Let's release some boys.
If Haggerty comes though, we'd have to do mixed rules fights. Like it'd have to be like one round of Muay Thai.
Yeah, man.
Same with
bro,
Rod
just
Tang.
give him all strikers, all striker matchups. Just get him all strikers, though.
Yeah, all strikers.
What weight class? What weight class is he in again? He's low, like 125, 135.
Atom weight.
Atom weight.
Yeah. I think Haggerty's like bantamweight, and I think Superlek and Rod Tang are like 125, maybe.
Yeah, 125.
They're small guys.
We need like a featherweight. We need like a featherweight Muay Thai legend from one or somewhere like that to come in here against like the Carlos Prateses of the world.
Do y'all think
those would be fun fights?
Do y'all think Mike Perry would ever come back to the UFC?
Yes. 100%.
He said he's making too much money.
I don't think so.
I think he'd come back to the UFC. Hey, shit talks, money walks. Let me tell you, I think if they offered him a big paycheck,
that's a good shout by Lane with Patchy Mix. Really good shout by Lane. Really good shout.
But he's on his way in. They're talking to him. That's why I think people are actually talking to Patchy.
He's been asking for his release, right, y'all?
Yeah.
Didn't he date? What's her name that just fought? Tatiana Suarez?
Yes, Tatiana Suarez.
Okay.
They're the MMA power couple.
Mason Jones, but they've just re-signed him. We're just waiting on a fucking bout. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen, I'm going to wrap up the show, but before I do that, before I get out of here, and I know you guys want to go, but before we get out of here, I want to give a quick shout out to our boy Adrian Sanchez that's going to be fighting. He's going to be fighting.
Let's go, Rayo!
Let's go!
He's made the fight. He's making the fucking weight. He's making the walk. He's doing everything he can to get the victory. Shout out to our boy Adrian Sanchez. We're rocking with you. We're supporting you, my bro, and we hope you get the job done. We can't wait to have you back on the show. And next week, we're going to be bringing on Big Shad. Big Shad Blambi Usua is going to be pulling up as well. He's going to be telling us all about his preparation going into the upcoming bout that he's got for the title. So keep your eye out for that. We definitely going to be back here for prediction show this Friday. Make sure you stay tuned. Yao is going to be trying to reclaim his spot, but he's around that's making sure that doesn't happen.
The one thing I'll say is...
Hold on, Yao. Hold on, Yao. Yeah, I got only 1 point behind me. He's right.
Shut your fucking mouth. You'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you
I'll
will
do nothing but
get the
climb
fuck out
back
here.
to the top of the table. I'll do nothing but climb back to the top of the table.
Surprise,
Just
surprise,
watch
the
this.
king is back.
Oh, just watch this.
Surprise. Hey, listen, I told you I was gonna rule this shit for a whole week, and I think I'm close to doing that. Ain't nobody go.
You will. He will rule it for a whole week, just until Saturday, folks. And he can talk all that trash. But for me,
I train, I eat, and I sleep.
And then I take back over this competition. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys, you all feel like, you know what I mean, you got responsibility to get that spot.
I am very feel.
But you are coming to eat at my table, bro. You know what I mean? And it's why I gave you invited to the table. Anyways,
a point at the end of the show right now. Damn.
Hey, you know this guy. Hey, Sterling, they hating, man. They hating. You know what I mean? They know I'm a dumbass. Hey, Sterling, they know I'm a dumbass. I'm all the way up there on the table, man. It's an elephant on the top of the table. Right
Who the
now.
fuck is that guy?
They know I'm a dumbass. I'm all the way up there, Sterling. They can't cope with it, Sterling. They can't deal with it, man. They can't cope with it.
Here's the thing. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Look at McDane, dude.
That dude going crazy.
Oh shit. Anyways, people, I'm hungry. We're about to get the hell out of here. Salute to every single one of you that's been.
Don't be rude.
Make sure you
It's all
fucking
fake
following
news.
every single body on this panel.
You're
Crossover
fired.
MMA,
Get out of here.
MMA normally. We got Keith in the house. We got the Rambling That podcast. SDAWGSMMA. Making the Walk. The Fight Week Show. Make sure you're following Bundestas Bukaskas as well. Adrian Rayo Sanchez. Make sure you're following all these guys. We're showing love to them. And then, we'll be back on Friday for the prediction show. And hasta la vista. We're out. Salute. Peace.
Why are you gay?
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week Show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.